Alrighty, so we're back at here again at the hot take board, table, whatever we want to call it. We're gonna call it the hot take table. So regardless, basically, since you guys did say that y'all wanted this to be a series, so since you guys want this to be a series, I'm going to explain. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna make one of these hot take videos once a week. Okay. Primary reason is I don't want it to dry out so fast. And on top of that, I want to give you guys time to come up with more hot takes. So then by that time, we'll never end up catching up. Hopefully, maybe, depending, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, if you want your hot take being said in a video, join my Discord. Join the Discord down. It's always going to be in the description of all these videos. And go to the hot take channel and say your hot take. And you'll get featured in a video. So I will try and make these a little bit, well, I don't want to make these longer. Damn, my throat. My throat got dry. Anyways, I don't want to make these super long. But then again, I kind of need to make these kind of long. I'll do my best not to spend so long on certain topics, subjects, whatever. Anyways, so if your hot take, by the way, is not mentioned, if you notice that I skipped over your hot take, there's for a couple of reasons of that. And that is either one, your hot take has been stated multiple times already, so I just moved past it. AKA, it was stated a lot in the last video, or was in the last video. Or I feel like you've had too much screen time. It's time to give it to somebody else, all right? Okay, so those are gonna be the main reasons if you don't end up on it, all right? Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the first hot take. So this hot take is by this person. I don't know how to say your name, I'm sorry. But you said, I don't know if it's just me, but I've been trying out killers other than ghosts, and these survivors are just not it. I tried out Empress and Showstopper yesterday, and the survivors were mean, calling me rude things like, I'm sorry, I'm trying someone new. Okay, I think what you're basically meaning, I guess what you're saying is that people in Daybreak are just rude. This isn't even a hot take, I'm not gonna lie. This is just factual. People in Daybreak can be a little bit rude, depending on who you're going against. So yeah. Anyways, on to the next one. So the next hot take is by Whisk, and they said, this game should be killer-sided. It should be killer-sided because we are dealing with 8 motherfuckers, and I honestly feel survivor mains want the game to be survivor-sided. Notice how it's only certain survivor mains that throw a fit when infinite loops get nerfed. Okay, so here's my thing about the whole killer-sided, survivor-sided situation. The game should not be sided towards either or, regardless. It shouldn't be sided towards either or. It should try its best to be sided to both sides. Okay, we get it. It's there's 8 people you're going against. Yes, that's 8 minds against 1. But the game shouldn't be survivor sided, and trust me, we don't want the game to be killer sided. Look at killers like pre-nerf Showstopper, or Empress as of right now, or like any like killer that's like kind of like strong, but their strength is like annoyingly strong. If we let the game be killer-sided, we'll get killers like that, and that's just not fun. And you spend most of your time playing Survivor anyways. You're not gonna have that much fun playing the game. Let's be real here. Also, on top of that, notice how whenever survivors get a little change to help them out, killer mains are the main ones to complain. So I mean, you could use the same logic for them too. You could literally use the same logic for them, because it seems like anytime a killer gets some form of like nerf, or survivors, like let's take the revive shield for example. Look at the revive shield now, and look at how everyone reacted before, and look at the revive shield now. Most people forget it's even in the game, because the feature really isn't that serious. It wasn't that serious for people to throw a hissy fit about, and we can see that now. So I don't think the game should be sided towards killer, but the game shouldn't be sided towards survivor. We all know how that will end up if the game gets sided towards survivor. But being killer sided, I just don't think the game should be sided towards either or. Should killers be looked at a lot more when it comes to certain changes? Yes, because they are the ones that are heavily going to be affected by most changes that happen in this game, because they are solo, they are by themselves. but I do not think the game should be sided towards them just because they're by themselves. Most of these killers are strong in their own way anyways, to benefit. Like, these killers get abilities to work around being by themselves in the first place. So just making the game sided to them is already going to make them incredibly strong, and we don't want that. So I get what you mean, Whisk, and you're not the only person who said this before, but I personally just disagree with it. But anyways, let's get into the next one. So the next one is by Mike. Hear me out, Warden kinda. Anyways, next one. So the next one's by Ren. They said Apostate is very good. No. No. Apostate's better than where she was before, but she's not good. Apostate's not. She's not good. She's not, like, very good. I mean, she's in a better spot. She's definitely in a much better spot than she was before, but to say she's very good is just incorrect. Next one. So the next hot take is from Blue Heart. Redesigning a character just because of the person who created them was problematic / inactive is incredibly stupid. There's no reason to redesign an entire character just because they're of their creator, who can't can I speak, who wouldn't canonly be known, true, was a bad person / inactive. And I agree with this, but let me explain a little bit from their standpoint. Their standpoint is it's not their character, so they don't really care about the character. It's not even like any other like real factor like of those things. It's just, it's not their character, and then said person did something bad or all that stuff, so they don't want to be associated with them, so now this character doesn't get any lore. Personally, I would just say, just change the lore up, but don't change the character. Change the lore up to your standards, so now you can mess with the character a lot more, because now you know how you want the character to go story-wise. You didn't know how they really wanted them to go story-wise, but since you changed up the story a little bit for them, fit them in, boom, there you go. They still exist. Story was changed up a little bit. Perfect. And they got to keep everything else the same about them, right? So, and then you also did go on to say separate the art from the artist, and this is the saying that I say all the time: always separate the art from the artist. I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna hate the art because the artist did something bad. That's not my case. Like, let's go ahead and talk about people who still listen to what's his name? I forgot his damn name. Big R. Kelly. That was his name. Like, let's talk about people who still listen to R. Kelly, right? We like, most people can agree his music was good. What he did was bad, but does that mean I'm gonna stop listening to that music? Probably not. Unless it has some pictures to hide behind that music, then that's different. That's different. But other than that, let's be real here, guys. Like, there's not like, come on. There was no need to make these changes. Anyways, next one. So the next one was from Ancient, and it said buff ecocentric leech. I don't know what you would buff about it, but I mean, I don't really care about the perk that much. The perk doesn't really, like, not every perk, and I'm gonna say this, not every perk needs to be team-based wise, but like, what would you buff this perk for? Like, what would this perk need a buff for? I really see no reason to buff this perk. This perk is just to be selfish. It doesn't need a buff. Buff it to be more selfish? I don't know what you would want or like mean by this, but me personally, I don't think it needs a buff. And I don't play Veronica though, so I wouldn't personally know. But anyways, next one. So the next hot take is by Light Blue Heart. They said, make community contest come back. I don't care if you think that they might be more problematic creators. You're also problematic anyways. I mean, look, most of us want it back. Okay, most of us will want it back. It gives time and all that stuff. But I personally, I would say no, because Brenda already doesn't even want to work on the game that much anymore. Literally, when the roadmap's done, she's going to be done, pretty much. So, there'd just be no reason to bring them back. Just get the roadmap done, give us what we're looking for, and then let's just get it moving, because it is what it is. I agree, I would want it back, but, like, in just current state and time, it's just not a good time to bring it back. The community's already got their own problems going on and all that stuff. Let's just focus on the roadmap and get that done. That's just what I feel. So, yeah, next one. Okay, so the next one, again, is by the Ancient One, and it says, there needs to be content creator skin packs. Now, this is going to be a bit of a bias, but I would agree. why, like, I would agree. I understand the developers look at us nothing more than people who play the game, because that's technically all we are. We're just people who play the game but do a little bit more. But it doesn't change the fact that we're still continuing to keep your community active with each other and active with us. And on top of that, keeping them in the loop about everything when it comes to this game, and also spreading a bit of publicity about your game for people who might find your game a bit interesting and didn't know about it but got to see it because we've been making videos on it. I not asking for no title or whatever. Honestly, personally, the skin packs, do it. I don't see a problem with it. And if you don't want to do that, at least let us get voice lines. Like do something. Give us a bundle. Give, like, I don't know, a bundle. Do something. Do something, because I'm sure there's a lot of people who would agree that they would want content creator skin packs. It's not even just the content creators themselves that would want it. I really think that there's other people who would like genuinely agree and be like, add them. Now Ancient knows he ain't gonna be added into that, but hey, he still cares about the rest of the other content creators, and he doesn't just care about himself. There's a lot of things people might mistake him, might confuse him for being like incredibly selfish. He's not as selfish as some might think. But I agree. Add content creator skins. This would be nice. Showing some love to the people who are constantly supporting your game. Most of the content creators are buying, if not all, the bundles you have anyways. Like, why not show us a little bit of love? I mean, obviously buying bundles isn't like a valid enough excuse, but look, we're helping you out. I mean, I know that they care, but I mean, show us you care. But I'm not gonna be selfish. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But I mean, hey, please do. Or at least give us a title. At the bare minimum, at least give us some of us a title. But it is what it is. Moving on to the next one. So the next one is by Yogurt, and Yogurt says, Nathan has probably the weirdest / most sexualized skins, and for what reason? Remove the cat made skin collection, it's awful. Also, about the sun shards, why can't they make it so that every prestige you get 5? If you arisen someone fully, you get 30 shards rather than 25 shards for playing one character until it's fully arisen. So yeah. Okay, so I will agree that some characters, Nathan being the example at this time, do heavily get sexualized. Heavily. So, like, and I really, like, I don't know if most people have noticed, but it just seems like Nathan always gets put in, like, this bottom energy light when this is a full-fledged bodyguard masculine man, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm not saying masculine men can't be bottoms, but like, he gets put in that light, especially with some of these skins that he has, and I'm just like, why are you giving skins to him that are like this? Like the combat made skin, like all these skins. Why does he have these skins? And onto your sun shard thing, I have to disagree, because again, sun shards we didn't need to get, so just be thankful we have them in the first place. I'm not saying you're being not thankful or like not being grateful or nothing. I'm just saying let's just be thankful that we have them in the first place, because again, bundles are the only way other than premium payouts for developers to make money. So to just be able to achieve these bundles, all of them, is a problem. So locking like specific skins that you want, and not even a bundle itself, specific skins that you want behind these coins, I feel personally makes sense. This is their only way of making money. So yeah, I mean, your idea isn't that bad, but I don't think they'd be willing to give us an extra 5. We already get 50 when we first come into the game anyways. So I'm just saying, I personally don't agree with that, but your Nathan point, yeah, I agree heavily on that. Like, just stop you. Next one. Next one is by Alice, and they say, the developers will make Daybreak die out slowly if they continue to have such a high wall, between themselves and the players. They want absolutely nothing to do with us except to play their game. Like with Yvonne, Elizabeth, and Warden disaster, they asked for our opinions via a poll and then come to a conclusion that they were redoing Yvonne and Elizabeth's storyline and completely redoing Warden. But Warden just finally got a select animation. Why are you telling people that there will be no more Warden and then giving him something he should have had a while ago? even when the developers ask us for our input, they will still do whatever they feel in the moment. I agree. They will do whatever they want in the moment sometimes. Sometimes it does definitely feel like they have an entirely high wall between us. But in the Warden situation, I would say that this wasn't the best example, because technically the community didn't care what the fuck happened to Warden. They just didn't want anything to happen to Yvonne and Elizabeth. They just decided to switch up the story though, because people like the characters a lot, okay? So they decided to switch up the story to keep them in the game and make them make sense, but change Warden altogether because it seems like nobody gives a fuck about Warden, which just isn't true. He does have his fans. And clearly the devs just don't really focus on that. They just want to focus on the bigger groups and varieties of people, which I feel like they focus on a little bit too much. Focus on the minority and not the majority. All right. Anyways, but I also do agree with the why the fuck give Warden a select animation in the first place if he's getting removed. If you're going to redo everything, why do that? This is why I've come to the conclusion that they are probably not going to, but just haven't said anything about it. But who knows? We'll see. I still find it a little bit weird that you're going to give him a select animation, but you're already planning on getting rid of him in the first place. So it's just like, what the fuck? Anyways, on to the next one. Okay, so the next one says, my hot take is Cole X IG is toxic. It's not toxic in a way people usually use the word toxic to describe a relationship, like abuse, yelling at your partner, constantly, whatever. But it's toxic in the way that Cole has such a high codependency for IG and relies on him for his self-worth. A lot of people just like to see Cole and IG's little cute doggy, but I do not see anything cute about Cole being so reliant on IG. It's sad and it's unhealthy for both of them. Alrighty, so in this case, I don't really pay attention to ships like that. I don't really care too much about ships like that. But typically in situations like these, normally, or at least from what I see from time to time, people who are like this are not putting enough self-worth in themselves. And I feel like the ship isn't a bad ship. It's just that we need him to have more character development. Make IG maybe say like, look, you're relying on me too much. You need to like put yourself more over me sometimes. So you gotta care about yourself a lot more. I feel like this isn't even like a bad ship, so to say. This is just bad writing. Like, make the character actually, like, it's okay. Like, this is actually a good start for him to start out like, oh, I have to rely on somebody else or yada yada. And then he comes to the conclusion and realizes that he needs to rely on himself and not other people. So again, I don't think the ship's bad. I just think that the writing is really bad for it. Give this character some like development. Make him get a little character arc or something. Make him change. Because I can see what you mean by that. But I don't think but I get what you mean also in the way that like it's not toxic in the way that normally other people say it, but it's toxic in the fact that he relies on himself too much. I just don't think IG himself realizes that. I just feel like change the character development up a little bit. Make him realize, or make someone realize that he's relying on him too much and he needs to not do that and focus on himself. I feel like that wouldn't be that bad, but you know, writing in this game is already kind of, it's all over the fucking place. So asking for that is asking for too much. On to the next one. So we are back on ships again, surprisingly, and this one's by Baby Blue Heart once more. And they said almost all the ships are gay twinks. Hello, may I have some respect for the straight couples like Ren and Tabitha? And I'm gonna just say this, yeah. All of the relationships in this game are just gay people, but I mean that's what happens when you have only gay characters get taken into the mist, which is why I say this game has bad writing. There's just no way coincidentally that everyone that's getting dragged into the mist, except for like the couple of few eggs in there, are a part of the community. It just like logically that just does not make sense. How is every character that is like that the only ones being dragged in? Can we talk about that? Like, can we actually like focus down on that? But regardless, I do agree too. A lot of the ships that I hate, or quite literally because they're like, it's so like twinkish, okay? It's too, I don't care what people say. People be like, what does too gay mean? By too gay, I mean making it like your fucking personality. And most of these ships seem like gay is the only personality that's coming out of them. When I say someone's too gay, I say that's me saying it takes over your character. It takes over you too much. And a lot of these ships I primarily hate. Most of the ships I like, like if I like a ship, that's because it does it right normally. And there's not that many of them. All right. And I just feel like also, since, you know, there's a lack, like again, like I said, there's a lack of straight characters in this game. So what the only other ships we're going to get are gay twinks or buff women on non-buff women or something. Like who knows what we'll get. We'll get something though, but it ain't going to be like straight or none of that stuff. Like, can we get like some more relationships like that? Like the only one we have is Ren and Tabitha. I mean, like you have all these bisexual characters, right? But it seems like, and I've also stated this myself, and I've always talked about this. Why make a character bisexual if they're always just gonna like the same gender? It just doesn't make sense. Like, let's be real here. Like all the bisexuals always just seem to be liking the same gender. Like, I don't know if anyone's ever focused on that or talked about that, but I'm just saying. So, and this is coming from a pansexual himself. So, I'ma just say this, and this only, I feel like we had, like, we're, like, some of these ships are just too twinkish, alright? They're just too, they're too much. It seems like, and then on top of that, it seems like that's the only half part of their character. Can we focus on actually making, like, characters that are just gay, but it's not, like, their fucking personality, please? Please and thank you. Anyways, on to the next one. So, again, about ships, damn. My hot take is that it's weird to ship a straight character with the same gender. If I see someone doing this, I'm not going to say, actually you can't, because one of the devs said they literally don't care if a straight person's sexuality gets changed for a ship. I am just going to look at it, I'm just going to look at you weird and turn the other way. And I will agree. Leave the character sexuality the way they are. And personally, I don't understand how the developers could let something like that slide. Me fucking personally, if I make a character and they have a sexuality, like if the character doesn't have a sexuality, have fun, do what you want. But if the character has a sexuality, please abide by the fucking sexuality, because logically, no matter, like, that logically that wouldn't happen. I don't care about your little alternate universe. No nigga, this isn't your character, it's mine. So follow the laws of my character. My character's straight, so my character's straight. It is what the fuck it is, boo. So I agree. I'm gonna look at you like weird. Like simply, I'm just gonna look at you. I'm just gonna look at you the other way, because I'm just like, what the whole cell phony got me looking at him sideways. Anyways, on to the next one. Alrighty, so these are some long ass ones coming from, this is a dude, isn't it? He's a dude, right? Yep, exactly. That's what I thought. I remember. Okay, so I don't know how to say your name, sir, but get into it. You said, people who complain about the game being unbalanced don't understand the fact that the game is an asymmetrical versus. There is quite literally no way to balance 8 people against 1 person. There are going to be some things both sides that are really OP, but it shouldn't matter too much unless it's quite literally game breaking. Thank fucking you. You locked in, you read the assignment, you under fucking stand. I agree with this hot take so fucking much. I think a lot of people don't understand that this is an asymmetrical horror game. You don't want to pick a side. You don't want a game to be, you already don't want the game to be sided, because then your game's broken, just like you stated. Like, unless it's game breaking, just like stop complaining too much, because it's just gonna happen. But I agree. Just like I said, this is why I say the game should not be killer sided or survivor sided. The game should, like, it's not possible to balance it. And if you make the game sided towards one side, it's just gonna make it unbalanced. And don't say, no, that's not true, because look at what happens when the game is survivor sided. Oh, okay, so we're quiet now, right? Exactly. So, getting into what he said, because he ate this shit the fuck up. Oh my God, bitch, you was cooking in the kitchen. When the muffins coming out? Anyways, but yeah, there's just no way to balance this. This is 8 people against 1 person. It's just never gonna be balanced. So let's not complain about balance to the point to where we expect it to be fully balanced, but let's talk about the things that are game breaking and need to be changed. Like, Anyways, on to the next one. They go on to say, some characters just shouldn't be removed / replaced. There are definitely some exceptions for these ones, like problematic creators like Virtuoso and Overgrown. However, there are some instances that are just unnecessary. Imaginary friends, the old Unforgotten, for any of you people who actually weren't around, Unforgotten's name used to be Imaginary Friends, was literally perfectly fine and had an okay fan base at the time, but the devs thought that their design was ugly, so of course instead of just redesigning them, they just completely removed them entirely. And most recently, and the most recent example of this is Warden. Warden is getting removed because people are like, hit his wife, that's triggering. He hit his wife, that's triggering. Can I fucking read? Oh my god. He hit his wife, that's triggering. Girl, you're playing a game where people are being trapped in purgatory, in which they are getting repeatedly murdered. Some killers have done this, but have done way worse things than Warden. But they have fans, and nobody cares looking at Watcher. Yes. Okay, I know my reading was bad, but to summarize that, if you didn't grasp it because of how ass my reading was, characters shouldn't be being removed. Like, it's just dumb unless the reasoning is like on point. Warden has zero reason to be removed at all. There's no reason to remove them at all. And on top of that, like you said with Unforgotten and all of them, I didn't realize their design was changed because they were ugly. From what I grasped, they were changed because they didn't fit the lore anymore, but they still had a pretty decent fan base, and it still is kind of dumb that they just did that. I'm not gonna lie, I still would have been fine with Imaginary Friends being in the game, and so would have Winnie, because Winnie was Imaginary Friends main back when we played. But yeah, anyways, and then on to your last one. You say that some of the most bland and boring survivor / killer design power lore come from the devs. Most community characters have really good designs in pretty much everywhere. Good term. Honestly, yeah, me and Chappie literally just last night were coming up with more ideas than the developers were coming up with when it came to like survivors and killers. Like I get it. You can reach roadblocks and all that stuff, but like if you're reaching roadblocks, just go look into what some of your community has said about certain killers and act like it was your idea, because we all know developers do that anyway. Just act like it was your idea. It's okay. We won't care. We just care that we're getting more content anyways. Let's be real here, guys. All right. Anyways, I agree with this. So the next one says, hear me out. The Rat's kit doesn't make any sense. The Rat is a gen control killer. He has an active that can make him travel faster across the map with the speed of a ghost phase, which makes him have more map pressure, which is true. And when he unburrows, he can slow survivors and make them repair and volt slower. I don't think it makes them repair slower, but it does make them volt slower. But if it makes them repair slower, then I'm just stupid. Oh, okay. You said, if you remember correctly, yeah, it doesn't do that. Then they make him have a passive which makes gens lose 50% progress if a survivor interacts with them. His active is more of a mobility killer, and his passive is gen control killer. Yeah, I don't understand why they made him a gen control. I'm gonna be so honest. He literally isn't gen control at all. Yeah, he's got a passive that has gen control pressure, but that's like saying any of the chase killers that have a gen control passive or gen control kind of in their ability that, oh, now they're gen control. No, this killer is definitely a mobility killer. They just don't want to admit it, but the killer is definitely a mobility killer. Anyways, on to the next one. So the next one says Watcher is overrated. Overrated in what way? Wait, okay, hold up. Because what do you mean overrated as a what? Okay, never mind. I looked into it. So they mean overrated as in as a character they're overrated, not like gameplay wise they're overrated, but as a character they're overrated. And I agree. Like, why the fuck do y'all like him so much? Like, I don't get how y'all can like a character so much. He's a terrorist. He has no redeeming quality factor, none of that stuff. He's just nothing but a flat out terrorist. What do y'all like so much about a terrorist? Like, I don't get it. Am I missing something? He's overrated 100%. Next one. Anyways, on to the next one. This is by whoever this is, because I'm not. Anyways, Warden is overhated. People can't fathom the fact that a killer is actually a bad person. I agree. He's definitely overhated. I don't like him as a person, but I like his villain. I like his villain aspect to him. He's just flat out evil. There's like nothing behind why he's evil. He's just evil. There's no like good reason to be evil. He just wanted to be. It's just like he just woke up in the morning feeling like, I want to do something devious. I want to I like a killer who is I like a character. I like a villain. Like I've said before, I like a villain who is just evil to be evil. There's nothing hiding behind. There's no reason for them to have this stuff. They're evil. There's no reason for me that I shouldn't be able to connect with them. None of that. They're just flat out evil. I agree. I like this. So, I 100% agree. I don't even know if this is really a hot take. He really is overhated. Anyways, next one. So the next one is by Bark Dog, and Bark Dog says this game is easy, that's all. I mean, yeah, literally all you have to, once you learn the maps, the game becomes self-explanatory. It's different from Dead by Daylight, because Dead by Daylight, you can learn the maps, but the maps switch, like maps have specific layouts, but they will switch up sometimes, so it's never gonna always be the same, like, layout. Like, palettes aren't always gonna be in the same spot, is what I'm saying. So it's going to be a little bit different, and I think gens aren't always going to be in the same spot. I don't know that. I can't 100% confirm that, but I'm pretty sure gens won't always be in the same spot either. So you can learn the maps, but it's going to be a bit till you actually learn the maps, if you get what I mean. Once you learn the maps, actually read. If you would just read what your killers do and what your perks do, you're already like you're practically 25% of the way there. If you would actually just read what they do, all you're missing is just learning like certain like text to do with your characters or killers, and then learning the maps out, and you're good to go. This game is pretty self-explanatory. You don't even need like 100 hours like most of us. Most of us have more than 100 hours, but you don't even need 100 hours before you start grasping a decent concept of how to even play this game for real. This game is like insanely easy, yes. So the next one is by Demon, and Demon says Slasher is worse than Warden, and Taylor is effectively useless in most scenarios. So Slasher being better, I mean Slasher being worse than Warden. Hold up. Damn, I had to burp. Anyways, Slasher being worse than Warden. Honestly, I would personally say they quite literally are on the same playing field. They just do different things. Pick who you want or who you feel matches your freak, I guess. I don't know. Pick who matches you the most. What do you feel like is easier for you to grasp? What do you like more? Do you like having like insane kill potential? Or do you like having more like variety? What is the word I used before? I don't fucking... More versatility in your shit. I don't fucking remember what I said. I said something before. But Slasher has more kill potential. Alright. While Warden has more like value. There it was. It was value. Slasher has kill potential. Warden is value. Do you want more kill potential or do you want more value in your match? What do you fathom more for your character, right? That's what I would say. It just depends on you, because you could inevitably they could be ranked the same, like in the same categories, same spots each and every time. Like you can't put one lower than the other, in my opinion. They both like are good collectively the same way in their own way. Bro, okay, so this is me in the aftermath. My stupid ass. I just realized I didn't even fucking answer the second half of his question. His hot take. Okay, I will say that I agree that Taylor is effectively useless in most scenarios. Why would you want to play Taylor? For what reason at all? Like let's be real. You can play any other gen rusher and do better. Like there's really no reason for Taylor. Taylor is just effectively useless. I'm gonna just be honest. Why? Like what their whole purpose is like ass cheeks when other people, like if you wanna like, I don't know. Just don't pick them. There's really no reason to pick them over any other gen rusher that can do better. Just effectively does more. Get more out of them. So yes, I agree. Anyways, that was the last of the hot takes for this one. Part 3. I might make part 3 come out before next week though. I don't know. It'll just depend. But regardless, if you made it this far, by the way, I would like to thank you all for 1,000 subs. So again, if you are not in the Discord server, join the Discord server, doing a Q&A, and you can ask me a question. I might make a community tab for the ones who don't have Discord or none of that, so you can give me questions. But yes, questions, hand them out, dish them out. Face reveal and Q&A. next video. That should probably be dropping tomorrow, alright? Because I'm giving you guys to the end of today to get these your questions out. So, yeah. If you got questions, save them until I make the community tab. Don't put them under this video because I probably will not look at them. Anyways, that's it. Bye-bye. Love you guys. Peace out.